Cyclones. Click on a link of your choice. At the end of this module, you will be able to define cyclone, identify the types of cyclones, explain the structure of a cyclone, explain the formation of a tropical cyclone, list the different names for a cyclone, identify the cyclone-prone regions in India and other countries, identify the areas in India that are highly vulnerable to cyclones. List some of the major cyclones that occurred in the Indian subcontinent and other parts of the world. Describe the consequences of cyclones and identify the role of a government department, administration, NGOs, community and students in managing cyclones. A cyclone is a natural disaster that can cause heavy damage to life and property. Cyclones are known by different names in different parts of the world, such as typhoons in China, hurricanes in Central America, willy willies in Australia, and cyclones in India. There are two types of cyclones, tropical cyclones and temperate cyclones. Tropical cyclones develop over the tropical regions of the North Atlantic Ocean, the Northeast Pacific Ocean, and the Indian Ocean. Temperate cyclones originate in the temperate zone and are less destructive than the tropical cyclones. India is prone to cyclones due to its geographical location. Tropical cyclones usually occur between latitudes 10 to 23 degrees north and south of the equator. Peninsular India lies in the tropical zone between 8 degrees north and 23.5 degrees north latitudes, and hence is prone to destructive tropical cyclones. Temperate cyclones originate in the temperate zone, usually between 30 degrees and 60 degrees north and south of the equator. Northwest India, which lies above 23.5 degrees north latitude, receives scattered rain in December or January from temperate cyclones. A cyclone is a powerful, swirling storm having dense clouds and air masses that move spirally inward at high speeds around a center of low pressure. It is oval in shape and measures 300 to 500 kilometers in diameter. The center of a cyclone is an area of calm winds called the eye of the cyclone. It may measure over 30 kilometers in diameter. Cyclonic winds swirl around the eye of the cyclone at speeds of around 120 kilometers per hour. Cyclones are accompanied by stormy, often destructive weather and heavy rainfall. Tropical cyclones are like giant engines that use warm, moist air as fuel. That is why they form only over warm ocean waters near the equator. Cyclones start when a storm moves over warm and moist ocean water. The warm, moist air over the ocean rises upward from near the surface. Because this air moves up and away from the surface, there is less air left near the surface, creating an area of lower air pressure. Air from surrounding areas with higher air pressure pushes into the low pressure area. Then That new air becomes warm and moist and rises too, and the surrounding air swirls in to take its place. As the warmed, moist air rises and cools off, the water in the air forms clouds. The high-pressure winds from above hit the storm. Due to this, the storm starts spinning. As the storm system rotates faster and faster, an eye forms in the center. It is very calm and clear in the eye, with very low air pressure. Higher pressure air from above flows down into the eye. When the winds in the rotating storm reach 63 km per hour, the storm is called a tropical storm. And when the wind speeds reach 120 km per hour, the storm is officially a tropical cyclone. Tropical cyclones usually weaken when they hit land because they are no longer fed by the energy from warm ocean waters. However, they often move far inland, dumping many inches of rain and causing lots of wind damage before they die out completely. Storms that form north of the equator spin in the anti-clockwise direction. Storms south of the equator spin in the clockwise direction. This difference is because of Earth's rotation on its axis. Heavy rains cause floods, due to which people, property, crops and animals are washed away. Weak structures or buildings collapse and huge sea waves hit the coastal areas. After death and destruction, epidemics break out, causing more damage to human lives. During the cyclone season, the Indian Meteorological Department IMD keeps a close watch on the weather conditions developing over the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean. They also examine pictures of the area taken by weather satellites and collect information such as air pressure, temperature, wind speed and direction of winds. Based on this information, they forecast the weather and provide timely warnings. These warnings help the administration to prepare contingency plans and evacuate people from the areas considered to be affected. To manage a cyclonic disaster, a contingency action plan needs to be devised with specific roles for individuals. All responsible individuals need to act accordingly in case of an emergency warning. The entire community should join hands with the government officials and NGOs in devising the action plan. As a student, you can spread awareness and information among the masses. You must listen to weather bulletins on television and radio in case a disaster hits and alert people accordingly. You can identify the safe buildings which can serve as safe shelters in your area. Check for adequate food supply and keep emergency phone numbers and addresses ready. Warn people against roaming outdoors and inform the fishermen in coastal areas not to venture into the sea. During the cyclone, transport should be temporarily suspended. People must be careful about damaged bridges, fallen electric poles, and flooded areas. They must keep in touch with responsible members of the community. People evacuated from affected areas have to wait for the official declaration before moving back to their homes. After the cyclone has abated, relief camps should be organized in community centers or nearby schools to provide the affected people with food and shelter. The administration must respond quickly at the national, state, district and local levels. Assessment of damage should be made individually and people should be given monetary assistance to start their lives afresh. NGOs should also help in rehabilitation efforts. As students, you can send money, clothes and food items through your school principal to help rehabilitate those affected by cyclones. Let's summarize. A cyclone is a powerful swirling storm with an area of low pressure in the center and of a high pressure on the outside. Strong cyclonic winds cause heavy loss of life and property. A cyclone blows in anti-clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere and in the clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere. The Indian Meteorological Department keeps a watch on weather conditions and provides timely warnings about cyclones. During cyclones, people are evacuated and fishermen should be told not to venture into the sea. After the cyclone has abated, relief camps should be organized to provide the affected people with food and shelter.